I recently asked you if you had any questions that you wanted to ask me, and you didn't disappoint. In fact, I got so many responses, I'm actually going to split this into 4 different parts. So without further ado, let's get into it. So we're going to have a few more of these questions that you've asked me, which I really appreciate. This next lot are all from my Facebook page. And I'm going to go with the first one, which is from Christopher Clancy, who says, I'm always interested in someone's journey. Were you raised religious? And when did you start questioning things? No, I wasn't raised religious. I think when I was really, really young, maybe 7, 8-ish, believed in ghosts, that kind of stuff. Virtually everybody did, and most people still do, from where I grew up. And I just kind of grew out of that belief, I think. And I think it might help that I'm also being a skeptic, the resident skeptic on a ghost hunting team. And that really kind of shows you, as you learn more about psychology and how the brain works, you really see how people who, when they're on ghost hunts, how they trick themselves into thinking they've seen something or heard something and attribute it to the supernatural. So yeah, I've never been religious as such, Christopher, and questioning things. I think questioning things, it's been more, I've amended my opinions over time on certain things. For example, I've always been a fan of cosmology, into cosmology, and I know that when it was first posited, or when I became aware that it was posited that there was a supermassive black hole at the centre of a lot of galaxies, I was resistant to that because for some reason I just emotionally liked the idea that there was a supermassive, there wasn't a supermassive black hole at the centre of galaxies, and I had a lot of resistance to that. I've amended my position on that, and I think I'll probably go through life amending my position on other things as well. AJ from Ways to Human asks, when you were a kid, what did you want to be when you grew up? Was it what you became? No, I wanted to be, I think like a lot of kind of youngsters, I wanted to be a fireman or an astronaut, that kind of stuff when I was really young. And then as I got older, I didn't really have any direction. Through my teens and early 20s, I just kind of floated a little bit. I didn't really want to be anything. It wasn't until I got into my 30s that I'd been having these conversations about what people believed and why they believed it since my teens. But I don't think, because I was focused on other stuff, I don't think I really considered doing this as a thing until kind of probably my 30s, when I started talking on different subjects and stuff like that. And it wasn't until way into my 40s that I started doing it online on the kind of YouTubes. So yeah, it's been a long and interesting journey. Okay, here are a couple from a friend of mine, Josh Hentner from the Bloody Good Film podcast, which I've been on a couple of times. Great guy, love Josh to bits. So I think there's kind of a serious-ish question here, and then a not so serious one. So the first one is there any area of study that you are interested in that ended up too dull to go any further in? And I think the kind of history of philosophy is probably that thing that I have found very dull. And I like thinking about ideas and talking through the ideas and really considering whether something is possible or true or not. What I'm not so interested in is who said what. I find that quite boring. So there's kind of the kind of first year philosophy stuff that unfortunately everybody who like me has done a degree in philosophy has to go through, where you go through the Plato said this and Aristotle said that and Kant said that. I've got numerous books on those bookshelves behind me, histories of philosophy and lectures by different people in philosophy, that stuff kind of bores me a little bit. So yeah, I think that prevents me from going into that kind of thing. I love philosophy, I love talking about it, I love talking about the ideas, and it's important to know who kind of said what and what people's opinions are. But I'm certainly never going to be a scholar on any particular philosopher, let's put it that way. And then Josh also asks, at what point did you realise that I was right about the transporter problem, and how has that positively affected your life? The teletransportation paradox, which is its correct name, is this idea that the original kind of problem was, and there are different variations of it, but the original thing was that if you are, I think it's Mars, if you are going to a transporter like a Star Trek style transporter, and your whole physical body is kind of dissolved and then recreated, and this is the important part for me, recreated from material on Mars, are you still you? Is that person still you? And myself and Josh have had several disagreements about this over the years, and I think we probably still disagree now. So a great set of questions again. I did have them all wrote out, but I've lost the sheets of paper, so I've had to go to the old telephone and just pluck them directly from that. I have thoroughly enjoyed doing this, guys. Let me know if you want to do something like this again in future, because it's been great fun. And on that note, I'll see you all next time.